Question 1. Scenario-based question. MS Harris is a claims adjuster for a major insurance company. She is investigating a claim for a commercial property damage caused by a severe storm. The insured business is a retail store that has suffered significant structural damage, and the owner is seeking compensation under the business interruption coverage. The business owner states that the storm's impact caused the store to close for 3 weeks, resulting in a loss of income. What should MS Harris do first in this situation to ensure proper handling of the business interruption claim? A. Confirm the amount of loss by interviewing employees who worked during the storm. B. Collect and analyze the business's financial records to determine the actual loss of income. C. Immediately send a settlement offer to the business owner based on estimated damages. D. Notify the insurance company's fraud department to investigate potential fraudulent claims. Answer: B. Collect and analyze the business's financial records to determine the actual loss of income. Explanation: the first step in handling a business interruption claim is to thoroughly assess the financial impact of the loss. MS Harris should collect financial records from the insured, including profit and loss statements, tax returns, and any relevant documents that prove the loss of income during the period the business was closed. This will help determine the amount of compensation due under the business interruption coverage. While interviewing employees, option A, might provide helpful context, it is not the primary method for calculating the loss. Immediate settlement offers, option C, should not be made before a comprehensive assessment. Fraud notifications, option D, are only necessary if there is evidence of fraudulent activity, not at the initial stages. Question 2. Which of the following statements accurately reflects the Missouri insurance laws regarding the denial of claims? A claim may only be denied if the policyholder provides false information during the application process. B. The denial of a claim must be communicated to the policyholder within 10 business days of the decision. C. Insurers are required to provide a written explanation of the denial, but they are not required to offer an appeal process. D. Insurers may deny a claim without investigating the circumstances, provided they have a reasonable belief of fraud. Answer: B. The denial of a claim must be communicated to the policyholder within 10 business days of the decision. Explanation: under Missouri law, when an insurer denies a claim, the company must inform the policyholder within 10 business days of the decision. This is required to ensure transparency and that the insured is promptly made aware of the decision, giving them time to take appropriate action, such as filing an appeal. Option A is incorrect because claims can be denied for reasons other than false information provided by the policyholder, such as failure to meet policy conditions or exclusions. Option C is incorrect because Missouri law mandates that insurers must offer an appeal process for denied claims. Option D is also incorrect. Insurers are required to investigate claims thoroughly before denying them, and they cannot simply deny based on a reasonable belief of fraud without due investigation. Question 3. When adjusting a residential property claim for a fire loss, which of the following valuation methods would result in the most accurate settlement amount? A. Actual cash value, ACV, which considers the depreciation of property at the time of loss. B. Replacement cost, which pays for the cost of replacing damaged property without considering depreciation. C. Functional replacement cost, which replaces the damaged property with a substitute that performs the same function but may differ in appearance or quality. D. Market value, which is based on the current market price of the damaged property. Answer: B. Replacement cost, which pays for the cost of replacing damaged property without considering depreciation. Explanation: for a residential property claim involving fire damage, the most accurate settlement amount is typically based on replacement cost. This method covers the cost to repair or replace the damaged property with new items of similar kind and quality without factoring in depreciation. This ensures that the insured receives a settlement that reflects the full cost of replacing the lost or damaged property. Actual cash value, CV, option A, factors in depreciation and would result in a lower payout than replacement cost. It is used in certain cases but is less favorable for the insured in property damage situations. Functional replacement cost, option C, is used in specific situations where like-kind replacement is not feasible, such as when the original item is obsolete. It is not typically used in a standard fire loss claim unless the specific circumstances demand it. Market value, option D, is not commonly used for property insurance claims. Market value is more relevant in real estate transactions but does not account for the full replacement cost, often resulting in a lower settlement amount for the insured. These questions test deep understanding of the Missouri Claims Adjuster insurance exam concepts, including claims investigation, denial procedures, and loss valuation methods, which are all critical to becoming an effective claims adjuster in Missouri. Question 4. Scenario-based question. Mr. Lawson is an insurance adjuster handling a commercial property claim for a warehouse that was damaged during a severe tornado. The business owner claims that a portion of the roof was destroyed and that the resulting water damage led to substantial losses. The business owner is asking for compensation under the property insurance policy. What should Mr. Lawson do to properly assess the damage and determine the settlement amount for the property claim? A. Rely on the initial damage report from the business owner to make a quick settlement offer. B. Request an inspection from a structural engineer to assess the integrity of the roof and underlying structure. C. Use the previous year's property tax assessment as the primary basis for damage evaluation. D. Immediately offer the business owner the maximum coverage amount as specified in the policy. Answer. B. Request an inspection from a structural engineer to assess the integrity of the roof and underlying structure. Explanation. When dealing with structural damage claims, especially for commercial properties, the adjuster must ensure that a thorough and professional inspection is conducted. In this case, Mr. Lawson should request an inspection from a structural engineer to evaluate the integrity of the roof and determine the full extent of the damage, including any water-related issues. This ensures that all damage is accurately assessed and the settlement reflects the true cost of repairs. Relying solely on the business owner's initial report, option A, or using property tax assessments, option C, would not provide an accurate or reliable assessment, offering the maximum coverage amount. Option D, without assessing the damage, is premature and would violate standard claims handling practices. Question 5. Which of the following is a key requirement under Missouri law for the handling of workers' compensation claims? A. The injured worker must notify their employer of the injury within 30 days of the incident. B. The employer must immediately begin paying benefits within 14 days of an injury. C. Workers' compensation claims can only be filed within 1 year of the injury. D. Medical benefits are limited to the first 30 days following the injury. Answer A. The injured worker must notify their employer of the injury within 30 days of the incident. Explanation. Under Missouri's workers' compensation law, one of the key requirements is that the injured worker must notify their employer within 30 days of the incident. Failure to provide timely notification may result in the denial of the claim. Employers are then responsible for providing benefits once they are notified of the injury. Option B is incorrect because while employers must initiate payment of benefits, this obligation begins after a certain period following the injury, not necessarily 14 days. Option C is incorrect because workers' compensation claims must generally be filed within 2 years, not 1 year. Option D is incorrect because medical benefits for workers' compensation claims typically extend beyond the first 30 days depending on the nature of the injury. Question 6. In a casualty claim involving a motor vehicle accident, what is the correct process for determining fault in Missouri's comparative fault system? A. The insured is always responsible for the full amount of the damages if they are involved in an accident. B. Fault is determined solely based on the police report with no further investigation needed. C. Comparative fault allows the damages to be apportioned between the parties based on their degree of fault. D. The insurance company must accept the claimant's assessment of fault without conducting an independent investigation. Answer. C. Comparative fault allows the damages to be apportioned between the parties based on their degree of fault. Explanation. Missouri follows a comparative fault system, which means that in an accident, damages are apportioned based on the degree of fault of each party involved. This allows for a fair allocation of damages even if both parties share responsibility for the incident. If a party is found to be partially at fault, their compensation will be reduced in proportion to their degree of fault. Option A is incorrect because the insured is not automatically responsible for all damages. Option B is incorrect because the police report is only one factor in determining fault and further investigation may be required. Option D is incorrect because insurance companies are obligated to investigate the claim independently and assess fault themselves. Question 7. What is the primary purpose of the Missouri bad faith insurance laws? A. To ensure that insurance companies pay the full value of every claim, regardless of the policy terms. B. To prevent insurance companies from denying claims or delaying payments without a valid reason. C. To protect insurers from lawsuits by claimants who disagree with the settlement amount. D. To allow insurers to refuse to settle claims when there is uncertainty about the liability. Answer. B. To prevent insurance companies from denying claims or delaying payments without a valid reason. Explanation. The primary purpose of Missouri's bad faith insurance laws is to prevent insurers from acting in a manner that is unfair to policyholders. This includes denying claims or delaying payments without a valid reason or without conducting a proper investigation. These laws ensure that insurers uphold their contractual obligations in good faith. Option A is incorrect because insurers are not required to pay the full value of claims if the policy terms do not support it. Option C is incorrect because bad faith laws are designed to protect policyholders, not insurers. Option D is incorrect because insurers are obligated to act in good faith and refusal to settle without cause can be considered bad faith. Question 8. Which of the following is not a common exclusion in commercial property insurance policies? A. Losses due to natural disasters such as floods and earthquakes. B. Damage caused by defective construction or poor maintenance. C. Losses from intentional acts or vandalism. D. Theft of property by a covered employee. Answer D. Theft of property by a covered employee. Explanation: commercial property insurance policies typically exclude damages caused by natural disasters such as floods and earthquakes. Option A. Defective construction or poor maintenance. Option B. And losses resulting from intentional acts or vandalism. Option C. However, theft of property by a covered employee is usually not excluded under commercial property insurance policies. In fact, theft by employees may be covered under special endorsements such as employee dishonesty coverage. It's important for adjusters to check for specific exclusions in the policy language, but option D is typically covered rather than excluded. Question 9. Which of the following is true regarding Missouri's insurance fraud prevention and reporting requirements? A. Insurance fraud must be reported only if the fraud involves a claim over $100,000. B. Insurance companies are required to have a fraud investigation unit to handle suspected fraud cases. C. Fraud reports are confidential and insurance companies are not required to notify law enforcement. D. Missouri does not have any specific laws or regulations governing insurance fraud reporting. Answer: B. Insurance companies are required to have a fraud investigation unit to handle suspected fraud cases. Explanation: Missouri law mandates that insurance companies have a fraud investigation unit to handle suspected fraud cases. This unit is responsible for identifying, investigating, and reporting fraudulent activities to the Missouri Department of Insurance and, when appropriate, to law enforcement. Option A is incorrect because fraud must be reported regardless of the claim amount. Option C is incorrect because insurers must notify the appropriate authorities, including law enforcement, if fraud is suspected. Option D is incorrect because Missouri does have specific laws and regulations regarding insurance fraud reporting, and insurers must comply with these laws. Question 10. When adjusting a liability claim for a slip and fall accident at a commercial property, what is the most critical factor in determining liability? A. The property owner's history of previous accidents on the premises. B. The length of time since the last inspection of the property. C. Whether the injured party was behaving negligently at the time of the accident. D. Whether the property owner knew or should have known about the hazardous condition. Answer D. Whether the property owner knew or should have known about the hazardous condition. Explanation: in slip and fall liability claims, the most critical factor in determining liability is whether the property owner knew or should have known about the hazardous condition that caused the accident. If the property owner was aware of the hazard and failed to take reasonable steps to remedy the situation, they may be found liable for the injury. Option A is incorrect because the history of previous accidents is not as significant as the current condition of the premises. Option B is incorrect because while inspections are important, liability is primarily based on knowledge of the hazard. Option C is incorrect because the injured party's negligence is relevant only if it contributes to the accident under comparative fault rules, not the primary factor in determining liability. Question 11. Scenario-based question. A homeowner, Mrs. Green, filed a claim after fire caused significant damage to her kitchen. She had a homeowner's insurance policy with fire coverage, but the insurance company denied her claim, stating that the fire was caused by a faulty appliance which was not covered by her policy. What should the claims adjuster do in this situation to ensure proper handling of the claim? A. The adjuster should immediately uphold the denial, as appliances are typically excluded from coverage. B. The adjuster should request a third-party investigation into the fire's origin and re-evaluate the claim based on the findings. C. The adjuster should approve the claim because fire damage is covered under all homeowners' policies. D. The adjuster should deny the claim again and inform the homeowner that faulty appliances are never covered under any policy. Answer: B. The adjuster should request a third-party investigation into the fire's origin and re-evaluate the claim based on the findings. Explanation: a claims adjuster should not immediately uphold the denial without further investigation, especially in complex cases like fire damage. Requesting a third-party investigation, such as from a fire expert, ensures a proper understanding of the fire's origin and whether the cause is indeed excluded under the policy terms. The adjuster must assess all evidence thoroughly before making a final decision on coverage. Question 12. Which of the following best describes Missouri's pure comparative negligence rule as it applies to auto accident claims? A. Each party in the accident is responsible for their own damages, regardless of fault. B. The party found more than 50% at fault for the accident is responsible for all damages. C. Damages are divided between the parties based on their percentage of fault, with no party being responsible for more than 50% of the damages. D. The party found less than 50% at fault can recover damages, but their recovery is reduced by their percentage of fault. Answer: D. The party found less than 50% at fault can recover damages, but their recovery is reduced by their percentage of fault. Explanation: Missouri follows a pure comparative negligence rule. This means that a claimant can still recover damages even if they are partially at fault for the accident, but their recovery is reduced by their percentage of fault. For example, if someone is found to be 30% at fault for the accident, they can recover 70% of the damages. Question 13. What must an insurance company in Missouri do if it suspects that a claim is fraudulent? A. Immediately refuse to pay the claim and notify the claimant of the fraud. B. Conduct an investigation and report suspected fraud to the Missouri Department of Insurance, Financial Institutions, and Professional Registration (DIF). C. Send a letter to the claimant demanding repayment of any already paid benefits. D. The company must wait until the claimant takes legal action before notifying the authorities. Answer: B. Conduct an investigation and report suspected fraud to the Missouri Department of Insurance, Financial Institutions, and Professional Registration (DIF). Explanation: under Missouri law, if an insurance company suspects fraud, it is required to conduct a thorough investigation and report any suspected fraudulent activity to the Missouri Department of Insurance, Financial Institutions, and Professional Registration (DIF). The insurer should not take actions like immediately refusing payment or demanding repayment without proper investigation. Question 14. What is the primary purpose of the personal injury protection (PIP) coverage in Missouri auto insurance policies? A. To cover the medical expenses of passengers in the insured vehicle only. B. To pay for medical and related expenses, regardless of fault, for injuries sustained in an accident. C. To cover the cost of repairing the insured vehicle following an accident. D. To pay for legal fees related to accidents and lawsuits. Answer: B. To pay for medical and related expenses, regardless of fault, for injuries sustained in an accident. Explanation: personal injury protection (PIP) coverage provides medical benefits to individuals injured in an accident, regardless of who was at fault. It covers medical expenses, lost wages, and other expenses related to the injury, ensuring that policyholders receive timely compensation for accident-related injuries. Question 15. Which of the following is NOT typically covered under a standard Missouri homeowners insurance policy? A. Damage caused by wind or hail. B. Damage caused by an earthquake. C. Loss of personal property due to theft. D. Damage caused by fire or lightning. Answer: B. Damage caused by an earthquake. Explanation: most standard homeowners insurance policies exclude coverage for damage caused by earthquakes. Homeowners may need to purchase additional earthquake insurance or endorsements to be covered for such damage. Wind, hail, theft, and fire are generally covered under standard policies. Question 16. Which of the following types of insurance claims would NOT be handled by a commercial general liability CGL policy in Missouri? A. Bodily injury caused by a slip and fall accident on the insured's property. B. Property damage caused by an accident involving the insured's company vehicle. C. Personal injury resulting from an employee's defamation of a competitor. D. Damage to the insured's own equipment due to a fire. Answer: D. Damage to the insured's own equipment due to a fire. Explanation: a commercial general liability (CGL) policy covers third-party claims such as bodily injury, property damage, and personal injury caused by the insured's business activities. It does not typically cover damage to the insured's own property or equipment. For damage to the insured's own equipment, a property insurance policy would be more appropriate. Question 17. What does a subrogation clause in an insurance policy allow the insurer to do? A. It allows the insurer to sell the insured's property to recover claims payments. B. It gives the insurer the right to pursue recovery from A third party who is responsible for the damage. C. It allows the insurer to reduce the policyholder's premiums if they make a claim. D. It prevents the policyholder from suing the insurer for denied claims. Answer: B. It gives the insurer the right to pursue recovery from a third party who is responsible for the damage. Explanation: a subrogation clause allows the insurer to pursue a third party who may be responsible for the damage or loss covered by the insurance policy. This helps the insurer recover the costs of the claim paid to the policyholder. For example, if another driver causes an accident, the insurer can pursue the responsible driver or their insurer for the damages. Question 18. Under Missouri law, which of the following is a standard provision in a health insurance policy regarding pre-existing conditions? A. Health insurers may refuse to cover any condition that existed within the last 5 years, regardless of the condition's severity. B. Health insurers are not allowed to exclude coverage for pre-existing conditions under any circumstances. C. Health insurers can exclude coverage for pre-existing conditions for up to 12 months, but must cover all other conditions. D. Health insurers must cover pre-existing conditions immediately upon policy issuance. Answer: C. Health insurers can exclude coverage for pre-existing conditions for up to 12 months, but must cover all other conditions. Explanation: under Missouri law, health insurers may exclude coverage for pre-existing conditions for a limited period, typically up to 12 months. After that period, the insurer is required to cover the condition. However, they cannot exclude coverage for conditions that are not pre-existing, and the pre-existing condition exclusion must be clearly stated in the policy. Question 19. What is the primary purpose of the declaratory judgment provision in an insurance policy? A. To allow the insurer to change the terms of coverage after a claim is filed. B. To provide a way for the insured to dispute a claim settlement amount in court. C. To allow a court to determine whether the insurance policy covers a specific claim or loss. D. To mandate that all disputes be settled through binding arbitration. Answer: C. To allow a court to determine whether the insurance policy covers a specific claim or loss. Explanation: a declaratory judgment provision allows a court to determine whether a specific claim or loss is covered under the terms of the insurance policy. This is often used in situations where there is uncertainty about coverage and the policyholder or insurer wants judicial clarification. Question 20. Which of the following is the primary purpose of an umbrella insurance policy? A. To cover all medical expenses related to accidents. B. To provide extra liability coverage above and beyond the limits of other primary policies. C. To provide life insurance in case of an accident. D. To cover vehicle damage that is not covered by an auto policy. Answer: B. To provide extra liability coverage above and beyond the limits of other primary policies. Explanation: an umbrella insurance policy provides additional liability coverage that kicks in once the limits of the policyholder's primary insurance policies, such as homeowners or auto insurance, have been exhausted. It is designed to offer extra protection against large claims that exceed the coverage limits of other policies. Question 21. Scenario-based question. A client, Mr. Jones, is filing a claim for damage to his home due to a storm. The damage includes a collapsed roof and water infiltration into the interior of the house. Mr. Jones has a standard homeowner's insurance policy which covers windstorm damage but excludes water damage due to flooding. What should the claims adjuster do in this situation? A. Deny the claim entirely because water damage is excluded under the policy. B. Approve the claim for windstorm-related damage and exclude water damage from flooding, but offer an endorsement for future water damage coverage. C. Approve the entire claim as the storm caused both wind and water damage. D. Approve only the water damage portion as the water infiltration caused the most damage. Answer: B. Approve the claim for windstorm-related damage and exclude water damage from flooding, but offer an endorsement for future water damage coverage. Explanation: in this scenario, the claims adjuster must approve the windstorm-related damage as it is covered under the policy. However, the water damage from flooding should be excluded as it is a separate, non-covered peril under the policy. The adjuster can offer an endorsement for future water damage coverage if applicable. Question 22. Which of the following is typically excluded under a standard Missouri commercial general liability CGL insurance policy? A. Bodily injury resulting from an employee's negligence. B. Property damage caused by a defective product. C. Personal injury caused by libel or slander. D. Damage to the insured's own property. Answer: D. Damage to the insured's own property. Explanation: A commercial general liability (CGL) policy generally covers third-party claims for bodily injury, property damage, and personal injury. However, it excludes coverage for damage to the insured's own property. This type of coverage would typically require a separate property insurance policy. Question 23. In Missouri, which of the following would most likely be excluded from coverage under a typical homeowner's insurance policy? A. Damage caused by a fire. B. Damage from a tree falling during a storm. C. Damage caused by an earthquake. D. Theft of personal property. Answer: C. Damage caused by an earthquake. Explanation: most standard homeowners policies in Missouri exclude coverage for damage caused by earthquakes. Earthquake coverage must be added through a separate endorsement or a specialized earthquake insurance policy. Question 24. Which of the following is the primary purpose of an insurance deductible? A. To allow the insurer to cover small claims without affecting the premium rate. B. To ensure that the insured is financially responsible for a portion of the claim. C. To increase the total amount of coverage provided by the policy. D. To decrease the amount the insurer will pay out for claims. Answer: B. To ensure that the insured is financially responsible for a portion of the claim. Explanation: a deductible is the amount that the insured must pay out of pocket before the insurer begins to pay for a claim. It serves to reduce the frequency of small claims and ensures that the policyholder shares some of the financial responsibility in the event of a loss. Question 25. In Missouri, which of the following is true about uninsured motorist coverage? A. It is mandatory for all drivers in Missouri to carry UM coverage. B. UM coverage pays for injuries to the insured caused by an uninsured or underinsured driver. C. UM coverage only applies to property damage caused by uninsured drivers. D. UM coverage is optional but must be purchased in addition to liability coverage. Answer: B. UM coverage pays for injuries to the insured caused by an uninsured or underinsured driver. Explanation: in Missouri, uninsured motorist coverage is optional, but it can be added to an auto insurance policy to cover injuries the insured may sustain if involved in an accident with an uninsured or underinsured driver. UM covers bodily injury, not property damage. Question 26. A Missouri business has been sued for negligence after a customer slipped on a wet floor in the store. The business owner's commercial general liability (CGL) policy covers bodily injury, but has a $500,000 policy limit. The jury awards the customer $600,000 in damages. How much will the CGL policy pay? A. $500,000 as it is the policy limit. B. $600,000 as the policy covers the full amount awarded. C. $100,000 as the policy only covers claims under $100,000. D. $0 because the policy does not cover negligence claims. Answer: A. $500,000 as it is the policy limit. Explanation: the CGL policy will cover up to the policy limit for bodily injury claims, which is $500,000 in this case. The insured would be responsible for the remaining $100,000 in damages as the jury's award exceeds the policy limit. Question 27. Which of the following is a requirement for an insurance claim to be considered valid under a Missouri homeowner's policy? A. The damage must be reported to the insurance company within 24 hours of the incident. B. The insured must provide a detailed police report for all claims. C. The claim must be filed within the time limit specified in the policy, which is usually within 1 year. D. The insured must pay the full premium for the year before any claim can be filed. Answer: C. The claim must be filed within the time limit specified in the policy, which is usually within 1 year. Explanation: insurance policies typically have a time limit within which claims must be reported, often set to 1 year after the incident. Failing to report the claim within this time frame may result in the claim being denied. It is not necessary to report the claim within 24 hours, nor must a police report be filed for all claims. Question 28. Which of the following is true regarding Missouri's failure to defend a provision in commercial general liability (CGL) policies? A. The insurer is obligated to defend the insured in all cases, regardless of policy exclusions. B. The insurer must only defend the insured if it is likely the claim will be covered under the policy. C. The insurer is not required to defend the insured if it believes there is no coverage under the policy. D. The insurer must provide a defense until a final judgment is made, even if it believes there is no coverage. Answer: D. The insurer must provide a defense until a final judgment is made, even if it believes there is no coverage. Explanation: Under Missouri law, insurers are generally obligated to provide a defense to the insured in all cases that may potentially involve coverage. This obligation exists even if the insurer believes there is no coverage under the policy. The insurer can later deny coverage if it is determined that the claim is not covered. Question 29. Which of the following is typically excluded from coverage under a personal automobile policy in Missouri? A. Damage to the insured's car in a hit-and-run accident. B. Injuries sustained by the insured in a car accident with an uninsured motorist. C. Theft of personal items from the insured's vehicle. D. Damage caused by a driver who was under the influence of alcohol. Answer: C. Theft of personal items from the insured's vehicle. Explanation: personal automobile insurance policies generally do not cover theft of personal items from the insured's vehicle. This would typically fall under the coverage provided by a homeowner's or renter's insurance policy with personal property coverage, rather than an auto insurance policy. Question 30. In Missouri, which of the following is true regarding the cancellation of a health insurance policy by an insurer? A. An insurer may cancel a policy at any time without notice if premiums are not paid. B. An insurer may only cancel a policy within 30 days of the effective date of the policy. C. An insurer may not cancel a health insurance policy unless the policyholder has committed fraud or misrepresented information. D. An insurer may cancel the policy at renewal if the insured has not filed any claims in the previous year. Answer: C. An insurer may not cancel a health insurance policy unless the policyholder has committed fraud or misrepresented information. Explanation: in Missouri, insurers cannot cancel a health insurance policy mid-term unless there is evidence of fraud or misrepresentation by the insured. Insurance companies must also adhere to state regulations that protect consumers from unfair cancellations.